Good evening, board members, and welcome all visitors. So this is the September 16, 2024, 5 p.m. board meeting, the regular meeting for Harlan Community School District. And the first thing we have here is item A is to call a meeting to order and determine a quorum. And I guess we barely got a quorum, but we do got a quorum, so I guess we're good to go on that. We don't vote on that?
No.
Go ahead. Okay, next of all, we note that this is a public forum, as I always like to do, and so anyone is welcome to come and talk. They just need to talk to Catherine, the board secretary, a few hours before, and so we can set up that time and discuss whatever needs to be discussed. Item C is to approve the agenda. Any questions or comments about the agenda?
So moved.
So moved. Second by Roger. We're efficient. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, no. Next, we have the discussion items D, and we have our Dr. Lynette's report.
Okay, we have two visitors here. If you girls want to stand up and introduce yourself, and they're here to talk about homecoming next week and all the fun stuff.
I'm Ava Frederick.
I'm Savory Schmitz. We're here to talk to you guys about the homecoming just activities that are going on. You know, we try to get both the public and the school excited because these are our future generations. So, I'm in charge of the homecoming parade, and overall that's going pretty well. We are finishing up calling our businesses that we'd like in there, and I know next week we're supposed to be getting out all of our information to everyone that needs that. And I know at least the candidates are really excited to ride in the convertibles. So.
I'm on the Valorama and Powder Puff committee. We decided to move Valorama to Friday with our short day in coronation being that day. At our last meeting on Sunday, we set up decorations for coronation. So that's going really well as well.
And then do you want to talk about the themes maybe that you have? What your theme is?
So our theme is Wild West, which we decided on in one of our summer meetings.
We have different dress-up days for this different homecoming week. So, of course, one of the all-favorite PJ Day is on Monday. Tuesday is
Country vs. Country
Yes.
Club, I think.
And then Wednesday would be our Class Wars Day, so everyone gets to wear a different color. Thursday would be the Toga Day.
Toga and
Cheerleaders. And then Friday is, of course, our theme in red and black, so that's Wild West.
So Valorama's on Friday now, not
Yes.
Sunday.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a little note of that.
And it's teal out next week too, I think. Like
Yes.
the volleyball games, so yep.
What time would that
24th.
24th.
24th, yep.
What time would that be at Valorama?
I believe it starts in the morning, probably 8 o'clock.
So during the school day?
Yes.
Gotcha.
There's a lot going on that week, and
Yeah.
teal outs that week, and then we also have the state Supreme Court is doing their hearing here in the auditorium on the 24th as well.
Oh,
At 7. So yeah, there's a lot. A lot going on.
No rest for the weary.
No. Yeah, and it's homecoming week, right?
yeah.
Anything else? Do you guys have any questions?
I do have one thing. I've helped with the parade probably for the last forever years, and make sure before you send the instructions out, maybe stop over at the central office. And there's some things that maybe might make it easier for the people that are going to be in it.
Okay.
Put it in there. So,
Alrighty.
and I
Awesome.
talked to Ms. Vandenberg about
Awesome, thank you.
That's Brian.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know in other conversation with the student council, they're talking about coming up with some kind of point system to track, like counting who's dressing up, and then they have a pep rally, or kind of like a pep rally every day where they have planned events to happen in the middle of the day and some competitions, and then you get points for all of that. The goal would be to try to involve as many students as possible during the day too, and then after school activities, but to build school spirit that way.
Great.
All right,
Thank you.
Girls,
Thank you.
for coming.
All right, thanks for being here.
You don't have to stay through the rest of this. I mean, unless you would like to, but you can go.
Yeah, now
You're welcome to stay, yeah.
Believe me.
Extra credit for government, there you go. Okay.
Facility update?
Yeah, we have several change orders and we can talk about those when we get to those if you would like, but everything otherwise, we don't have anything, I mean, still on track.
And we did walk through, the intermediate last week, and man, it's really starting to come together. Lot of the drywall's up.
You can kind of
You can
see.
really see the rooms now.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
They look pretty big, all the rooms?
Yes.
Yeah.
The boardroom,
like someone-
this boardroom would fit in that one
Easily. Oh, yeah,
2 or 3 times.
yeah.
Hmm.
Be
That's
another
okay,
room.
that's too much room.
Actually, they're gonna use it.
Not necessarily for
We
us,
don't
but it's
necessarily
for.
want all that room.
Well, but I mean, they plan on using it as a flexible
Tiny,
learning
that would
space
be-
too.
you can have
Yeah.
enough
I mean, that was part of the reasoning for making it that big, is so
No.
Really, yeah.
Well,
And we do all
Amber,
sorts
it's set up where
It's very
the,
functional.
and everything
will
cleared
be
out
up
of
front,
there.
and then all the chairs are back here, so you're facing the
I was aware of
audience.
that.
And people can come and go a little easier,
Yes,
probably.
yeah, yep.
Mhm. And the village, is it, I guess it's working?
Yep. It's going well. We've had some growing pains of just figuring out how to get life to function out there, but I've not had honestly one complaint from a
Does
teacher.
the smell better? I heard one of the trailers
Yeah,
had a
this-
pretty rough
The
smell.
sewer system we found fills faster than anticipated, so,
I think that's.
but we got that
We've
worked
got that
through,
figured
we
out,
got that
yeah.
figured out.
That's good.
Yeah.
I can
Otherwise-
I pretty much can guarantee you that Casey will never own a mobile home park.
But yeah, it's going well. It's going well, and not one complaint. The teachers are actually loving it, having windows and fresh air, and I said, we'll talk in January, but for now, it's going really well.
Just take their report now and.
Yeah,
ignore it.
yeah.
Gonna say anything about furniture?
We have been meeting with the furniture people and we're staying at budget, so we may, we're working with the vendor right now. So our top priority is the high school because we need the furniture ordered end of September to get here by December. We are struggling a little bit with the budget and we may, we're getting a little frustrated with their transparency. So we may look at other options if we need to, because we don't need the elementary furniture until next fall. So we're gonna look at timelines and see how this ends up here on schedule and, yeah, it's difficult because we just got the price points of everything last Friday. And we have to order it in 2 weeks, and that's not fair. So we've been asking for it for a long time. I mean, we know, we've had lots of conversations with them about what kind of furniture we want, but we've spent lots and lots of hours doing that, but then to come back to, we need to cut, we need to cut, we need to cut.
But there is more than one vendor, so
Yes.
you
There,
could go somewhere else.
we absolutely can go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Not for the high school at this point, it's too late, but we could for
So that's why
the
they
elementary. But I
could have strung it along because,
Well, I
No,
sent
it's-
an email today, so we'll see.
be nuts,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
from what I understand, you interviewed like 3 or 4
We
of them.
did
and then-
interview.
So they directed it toward one.
And what happened, we interviewed 3, we chose 1, and what happened was the gentleman that was our salesperson no longer works for Workspace. So that isn't our problem, it's theirs, but the lag in time,
It becomes ours.
yeah, it became ours. And he had worked there for like 17 years and we had gotten really good feedback, and so I'm not sure what happened, but he's not there any longer, so we're playing catch up a little bit.
Just to remind me, how much of the high school is going to be ready in January 10 or something like that?
Yeah, it's over half of our academic classes.
I see.
Second
A large
floor.
majority.
Mhm.
And then the first floor, kind of down the office way, special ed, the student services. So the front part, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
South side.
South side. The south side, there we go. And then the second phase is like the ag classrooms, the Hall of Excellence here, and the locker rooms.
and there is one set of classrooms, pod of classrooms down there yet.
Oh, yes, and the library is the second phase.
Would we, going forward though, instead of one company, have two companies and have them bid against each other?
Yes.
Instead of picking one and then having them work them, I mean.
Well, what we will have right now is already the numbers of one company. So to go to another one, we can use that
Use that.
to our advantage.
Absolutely.
And we may see, maybe they'll come back and say, hey, we'll give you this instead, we'll see.
But worst case scenario, you move old furniture into,
We probably don't have it.
We don't have
Space.
enough old furniture at the high school because we got rid of it all.
Yeah.
That's the frustration. Yeah.
I mean, I remember, but I didn't know.
We probably
yeah,
have enough
that's-
desks.
Well, because you have to
Yeah.
get rid of that, you can't just have that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
We
didn't
didn't have
know
anywhere
how
to
much.
store it either. Mhm. So I think we'll wait and see. That just happened today, so we'll get a little feisty and see,
Well, you
see
can
what we
always,
get.
Very good. Student accolades?
Okay, there you go, up there on the,
Okay.
Jeff is not here today. So the fourth grade, I think, goes to the Carson's Farm every single year. So they went, and I know Anthony went and said hasn't walked that much in a long time. So he went with his son. The football players did the walking school bus, which was really good. So we're glad we've got that back up and running with the wellness group.
It's this week again.
And they're doing it again. Yeah.
Yep, and it's the band this week that'll be walking with the kids.
So we're just.
Gonna play
And where does it
instruments in March
start?
They don't play instruments,
Oh.
no, but you need to be at.
I suppose the football players didn't play football with them.
They read stories to them, which was
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
You need to be at Pioneer Park by 7:30. They leave at 7:35 from right there by the wooden
Mhm.
area. And there was a pretty good little group.
Yeah, yeah,
Good.
for the first time. And then there's kindergarten learning about Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, that book, which is fun. Middle school, Bill got summoned to do the scoreboard, the JV game right now. So,
Six?
what, is it,
It's six.
or it's early, yeah, he's there though, he's down at the field, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Science
Sounds
room,
boring, so.
this was really cool. They did media day at the elementary, or at the middle school, I'm sorry. So they've done that last year at the high school and then they moved it down, so that was pretty fun. And that's Susan Wiedemeyer, so she teaches art and then she's got some digital media classes. And that's on social media, you'll see different things with the middle school. And then there's volleyball media day too. So they have a green screen, if you guys can see back behind there, so they can make that anything on social media, all different kinds of pictures and stuff like that. Just take the image out. And then high school, Case.
Well, we're really going back. Baseball made it to state. What else is
Thank you,
there?
in
Oh, you
July.
got the community, yeah.
That's
So
recent.
last
Yeah,
week,
this
the community canvas crosswalk project began. If you've been downtown, you've seen the crosswalks. They look really neat. It was a collaboration with our art students and some community art artists. Students designed the crosswalks and they raised money. The paint was this crazy looking paint it looked like Play-Doh that they were painting onto the streets there. So they raised money for paint, made the designs, and then had groups down there. I think they learned a lot about the process and will make changes. They'll go back in the spring and do the other two corners with more designs. And then I think there's one by Potter's Park or the Historical Museum somewhere in there that they're planning on doing. And then also eventually to do the crosswalk between the elementary and high school. So that's all part of the eventual plan to just phase it out. So this spring they'll go back and do the other two corners. Another cool thing, that I'm sure they'll have out on our social media is our social media students went down and took pictures and got to kind of test out. And we had, Gabe Arkfeld was down, he has the drone certification. So he had the drone up and took some cool pictures and video with that. And then they also captured some photos of the courthouse and kind of downtown pictures and downtown video that they could use for different things too. So that was kind of the first taste of us being able to fly the drone and do that with Gabe as he's certified and pretty
They
neat,
do
so.
have, I just noticed that the chamber, they're doing a ribbon cutting at these on Saturday
Yes,
at noon.
I saw that
So
too,
that's kind of,
I've had a
Yeah.
couple people comment about them.
yeah,
very positive.
they're,
It is,
they're
yeah.
very neat,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's kind of what we're looking to do is just find connections between the school and businesses or school and community. And so this was just a really good first, project to do and lots of planning on each side's part, but I mean, it really came together where it didn't take, it was a good learning opportunity because it was, happened easily and pretty quick and,
And
yeah.
how long will that paint last?
I don't know.
It's
That's a good
the
question, 'cause
same-
I wondered
so-
that too.
Well, they ordered, it's the same that they use to paint the streets, like the white,
Oh,
so,
that'll last a while.
It
Should
It'll
last a while. It'll
while.
fade over time, especially like over the I don't know, the winter with salt.
yeah, let's see. They had the special
Oh, just in
order.
time for us to do it again is what I'd say.
Yeah.
The kids who designed it, it'll fade and then we
Next
can go
year.
back in and do another
Yeah.
update, so keep it going. And then the pork bowl trophy,
That was a new thing, huh?
No,
It's
not.
an old-
I mean,
That
it's
trophy
old,
is-
but it hasn't been, it
I
was brought
forgot.
back
It's
to
been
life.
dusted
It
off.
was
I forgot it
forgotten,
existed.
yeah.
yep.
It was
So
brought
we had
back to life.
volleyball, we
really
played
hasn't.
Denison and volleyball on Thursday night and then football Friday night. And so
Go back in the
we
night.
had the pork bowl trophy sitting out for the volleyball game. So it had a lot of interest.
There were a couple of years where Denison actually had the pork bowl trophy, and we
Just a
had the
couple.
state championship trophy.
Oh,
So if you look at the
well,
dates
there
on
you
there,
go,
there
yeah,
are
that's
years
interesting.
Cool.
they beat us.
And then the districts, these are just some, and as we welcome teachers each year, we try to ask students to tell us what they're looking forward to, so the elementary ones, not gonna lie, are the most fun, because they just say whatever, and then Jeff prompts them to say things too sometimes, but, digital media presentation, the wellness committee and Mertu Medical, that was very good with Dr. Gentile. We've gotten lots of great comments, been in the paper.
How was the attendance on that? Excuse me for interrupting.
Yeah, no, it's,
Adults for the evening time, we had, I think, 88 we counted.
Okay.
I mean, I obviously wish a few more community members would have attended it, but it was recorded and will be televised. And then we plan to put some more stuff continuing out about it and trying to keep the conversation going.
Where would that be televised at? Or-
Well, it was Jonathan that was here, so.
Okay.
Do you know when that's airing, Jonathan?
I still have to edit it. I haven't had time. So
Sure.
many things happening.
Yeah, so
It'll
that'll
air on
be-
Channel 15 and it'll be on YouTube.
Oh, on
Oh, on
YouTube,
YouTube.
perfect.
Okay.
And he, all in all, he spoke to over 300 people though.
Okay.
By the time we had him here talking to the middle schoolers, the high schoolers, and the staff.
teachers.
And then there were elementary teachers or those that wanted to hear it on their own time. We had a really good amount of them too. So it was a little over 300 people that he spoke to.
I was wondering with I guess that's not a good word, deleterious or the bad effects of social media or media to young people. It's really a hot topic all across the country. How do you see that working through social media and our programs and everything at the school? Is it too early to tell or?
I think it's hard, because you go back and forth, because you want, at the school, we try to promote all the positive things, but then that can look at, if Greg gets on social media and I don't, I may think of that differently, so it's
It's gonna
difficult.
work the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I
But
think his goal and our goal as a health and wellness committee for the school is to help start conversations that bring education to where parents understand what hours and hours of any digital media does, not just social media. Any screen whatsoever.
His topics were more even just on commercials and how.
Just advertising, how it
advertising.
affects,
He.
which was honestly one of my favorite ones, because those kids didn't really understand how easily manipulatable they are until he just did it right in front of them. So we hope to just start conversations, and Mertu was a big help in partnering with it, so that physicians are saying the same thing that teachers are saying, that wellness committees are saying, but to bring it in an educational sense instead of condemning, like, well, keep your kids off phones or off screens. That's easier said than done. How do you do that? How many hours are too many? And so he's been very generous with his resources, and we plan to still put stuff out about it.
I seen one article where a parent was requesting that their child not even be on any kind of computer. And I don't know, well, I don't know how the school would respond to something like that. Will that
I mean,
happen?
we have some kids that aren't allowed to take, that parents don't want them to take their computer home, so they have to check it in and check it out.
Seriously?
There are lots of monitoring ways for teachers they can see the backside of all the computers often, and so they can see what kids are on. We have firewalls. I mean, Jeremy, our tech person,
lock it down.
we can lock things down, or he gets an alert if something is way off.
Yeah, 'cause you can whitelist it and only allow them to go out.
Yeah, we have
on
lots and
sites.
lots of protections, but,
And there are benefits.
yeah.
He'd mentioned that there are benefits to some learning applications being digital. It's just the amount of hours being consumed on digital media that has some not great effects.
And television is something too, just
Yes,
television,
yes.
video games, all kinds of. So when you add all that up together, the screen time, if you add those things.
Well,
is
and
a lot.
even if you can, if we can take that a step further, and I don't know if he did, but take it a step further into educate them or teach them on how to manage that. Because
That's-
even as they get into their adult life, you will see as employees, you know, people get in, or whether they get into college or when they get into the working environment, you know, how they can get distracted by their phones going off and stuff like that, and not concentrate in a work environment or at college. So how they can manage that and turn those, all that media and all that
Right,
distractions off.
right.
Because you're still gonna need your screen time when you go to college, you know, everything's on computers. I mean, I don't know how you get away from it,
Yeah.
you know. it's-
Work too.
You'll
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
watch
work
it
too.
for sure, I think, because he was able to address quite a bit of that. And the real major part of the ending portion was how much of a difference parents can actually make in their kids' lives, just by staying on top of it. And he actually gave steps, which Erin did a great job writing up in the newspaper. If you read that about, I can even forward to you the link that she sent, but he gave steps on how to help combat this. So we hope to continue highlighting those for parents, and
That's great.
And not only the time, I've heard comments about the contents oftentimes is extremely,
he had that in there
Out
too,
there.
Jim, about, you'll have to watch it because it's so hard to condense what he had to say, but how there's links to aggression and the ratings of things, and so he absolutely addresses that.
and even sexual content that's just not appropriate, so available.
He talked about that too, yeah. They got a full mix of things,
Okay.
whether they liked it or not.
Then the other there is just that we had, all of our teachers attended a professional development called Capturing Kids' Hearts, and it was 2 full days. And I have gotten more positive comments from everyone on those 2 days than I have since I started here.
And this
So
was sponsored by who? A special group that sponsored this one, was it?
We brought this one.
we
I thought you were using something with AE, area education that,
not this one.
not this one, okay.
That's letters. That's a different one.
Okay.
That's the science of reading.
I see.
But yep.
Mhm.
This is just about how to make relationships with kids, and to be honest, even the first week of school, when I would say to parents, oh, how was so-and-so's first week? Well, they said it was different this year, so it made a difference. Just simple things like opening your door and shaking their hand and calling them by their first names, and then they send out. Well, they are working with us continuously, so they send out a weekly email like, "Hey, remember to do this," or I mean, they send. There's coaches that are working with principals. There's one that's working with me. So just to keep us up and running, just to keep the culture good.
You have one Wednesday, an additional one, this Wednesday, don't you?
PD, yeah, these are not, so these now, Wednesday is the letters, the science of reading for the elementary.
Oh,
There's a couple things going on, yep,
okay.
yep.
But you're keeping
Yep.
track of it.
We try,
Okay.
yep. And then the last thing is just that we got a grant. Kylie's gotten lots of great grants for career and technical education and the STEM stuff, and so one of the things is Nurse Lee has got a fake arm there to use for CPR in her HOSA classes.
I think that one's for starting IVs.
Oh, yes, yes,
Practice.
you're right, Casey. There's
For
the
that.
little,
And then we got new shop tables for the wood shop, some welding jackets, and I think welding helmets through the RPP grant. And then I believe some Oculus, like a VR headset, to do some career exploration.
and last year she was able to get the drones. I mean, she's just getting a little bit more equipment each year, so it's good.
I see the personnel report.
Ready?
So we can move on. That was a good report. So here we go to item E, action items, number 1, personnel report.
You'll see on there, resignations, so 2 of the paras that we hired this year, just, we hired them and then they never even worked for us. So I had to put them back up as resignations, they literally were not even here. So that's Shelby Underwood and Tammy Dill. I mean, it's pretty short this time. We have Gail Nelson, she was a full-time custodian and then went part-time, and now she's retiring. So congratulations to her, and we've already got that position filled, but just today, so it's not on there, it'll be on there next week. And then we have, now we have 2 teacher associates available or open in the middle school, so, yeah. Pretty short this week, or month.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Could we have a motion to approve the personnel report?
So moved.
Greg? Second?
Yep.
Roger? All those in favor, aye? Aye. And those opposed, no. Next, we have action item E2, issuance number 2, baiting. It's baiting change order number 2. And I don't know if you want to talk about these together, or should we do them individually? What would you like to do?
Vote on them individually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just do them individually.
Okay. Some of them are similar, so.
Yeah.
And I guess since we have Greg and Jade here, we've talked about these to some
Roger's the only
extent.
one.
What's that?
He's the only one.
We had our facility committee meeting and talked through them, so.
I looked through them, so.
And then, yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, most of them, a couple of them are aesthetics, the walls,
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, my only question, I think, was the one where we had the brick wall,
Yep, math.
the exposed brick wall.
Mhm.
I guess, was it that bad, or?
It was bad. Jim said the same thing, and
I
because
like the
we
brick
are
wall,
still
too.
gonna have a lot exposed up there, this one was really bad.
Okay,
And
because the
Mike-
picture I seen didn't look that bad.
Yeah,
but
Mike
maybe
said it was bad, and then the
Okay.
glue ones were bad.
Okay.
I saw those,
Yeah.
and they said even if they sand those down.
Those are all block.
Everybody.
The block,
likes
yes, that
going
wasn't-
back to the
yeah.
historic look of brick
no.
walls.
Yeah.
And we will have quite a few, but Mike said that one was,
That's
and it's the bottom
more
of
block
it,
wall
That's the
there.
blue one.
Okay.
but the bottom
The
Roger,
bottom's
was-
not true.
on the
Yeah.
brick one was
He's on the
kinda
brick, it's
bad.
not.
She said it was undulating,
Yep.
Undulating.
whatever that
What does that mean,
means.
Jim?
I don't know.
I'm
I
guessing
should've looked it up.
if you look at it, it's been compacting,
And the
so
lady
part of
said
it
it's not-
comes out and some of
Must
it.
be kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, wavy.
No, that's true.
Wavy?
It's true that it's not straight.
The bricklayer must have been
I know, hey,
partying too much that day or something.
Well, I can't imagine this building is kids are settled any over
Right,
it.
I looked at the pictures, you can see any
Yeah.
photos.
And then
I
on
thought
the ground,
the bottom
on
is
the,
Yeah, see,
it looks like,
That looks like a wall down in Old Market.
I know,
I know.
I know,
There are some that they're
they are gonna keep several,
There
they
are
are
gonna be
gonna
brick
keep
walls
several.
out there,
Yeah,
just not that one.
that's the only
Okay.
one. We did ask though, Roger, we did
It's a good
ask.
question, Roger.
Yeah, cause we thought it was cool.
We
too,
tried.
yeah. We did ask, but yep, that's the two.
There's some other issues that force us
Okay.
to further that out as well.
So this first one is in room E103, which they're gonna put hat channels on. This was because of the plumbing. And there was a big pipe that couldn't accommodate the thickness of the studs. And so they had to put a little hat channel on it to fur it out a little bit. And it's in the amount of $778.
No, okay, so we're approving each one of those.
I make a motion to approve issuance number 2, change order in the amount of $778.
No,
$78.
was it? No.
No, just change
No,
order number
you-
2, that's
Change
all
order
of these
2
change
is
That's
ordering
orders.
all
all
it-
3 of
Oh,
them.
we can do all
That
of
will
them.
be all 3.
Yes.
All 3 of those
Oh,
have
okay.
change.
Oh, okay, well then
Maybe.
we'll wait, okay.
Yes.
Meeting change order is all we need.
Yes.
So change order 2, we have that wall, and then the second wall is U201, which is to fur out this wall with the glue on it, I believe, is U201, right?
And they showed us a picture, Roger, of what it looks like when you paint it after that glue is on there. And it's a teaching wall where they stand on it, it's pretty ugly.
And U216 was the other wall, so there's 3, is that right? There's 3 walls here, they're gonna get a
And we
little extra
decided
attention.
not to do it in a closet where no one sees.
Yeah,
So
there
we're
was-
not doing it
We
tonight.
took that
Hanging
one
that
out,
even though it's not going to look beautiful.
cause
So
nobody's gonna be in there
The
anyway.
total amount of this change order number 2 is how much? Total,
Is-
I think I have this.
5,000 or 6,000?
Could it be?
Right at 5.
2625 and 1594 and 778, I guess it's those 3.
Just tell me a number.
It's right about 5,000.
26,
4,800.
No, it's over 5,000.
26, 25, 1594, and 778. Is that the first one?
Yep,
What does it say?
Four thousand nine hundred
Change order.
and 97.
all right.
Does change order say?
Three different ones.
Yeah, it's the one, should be the baiting one. One should say baiting
baiting.
on it.
She's got it.
Net change. Which one is it? Is it the 59 or the 49?
40.
It's the 49 because we're not,
4997.
All
we're
right.
not doing that
That's
other
what I
one.
There was one room that was in a closet.
Oh,
so we
that's right.
decided not
Yep,
to
we
do
did
it.
do that
one
one.
out. Yep.
Okay.
Took that one
Okay,
out. At our
Now you
committee
can
meeting, that is.
so I
right.
make a motion to approve issuance number 2, baiting change order in the amount of $4,997.
Second.
Second by Greg. Ready? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, no? Okay, next one we have is the, let's see, it says item 3 here, issuance number 2, Nelson change order number 2. And this is to provide some extra backbone cabling. I believe it's at the high school, isn't it? For $15,648.
Is this the plugins and the,
This is so we can upgrade in the future, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
oh, yeah, okay.
This is
for
issuance 2, which
voice
is
over
high
IP,
school.
isn't it?
High
Okay,
school
yes,
is.
Not yet.
yes, I'm,
That's
What's
on
that?
this side of
Not
the
yet.
street.
Not yet. Okay.
Issuance 2 is always on this side.
But it preps us for that.
well, there were
This-
several we talked about, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This
so we don't
helps
wanna get them
prep,
mixed up.
prep us for that, like,
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about this one
And-
ahead of time, okay.
the
Yeah.
voice over IP, we will eventually get to, but we can use our E-rate discounts, but we've used E-rate up now until 2026. So as soon as that's available, then we can get the servers for the VoIP. And then this is Cat 6 that will just, everything, we're not doing this for naught, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess bottom line, is this gonna be a backup when we do get the VoIP? So it's
And it can be,
It won't
yes,
be
because if internet goes down, we have a
abandoned when we get
backup phone
the,
system.
use the
too.
Cat 6,
Yeah.
but it'll stay in there as a
Mhm.
backup. As, I think that's the way Jeremy
Jeremy
explained it,
explained it,
wasn't it,
yep.
Brian?
Yes, this is at the high school.
And we've all discussed, are you good with this, Roger?
What's that?
Questions?
You good?
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
We all fought it out the other day, we're good to go. No, we didn't actually fight this
No.
one.
Yeah, but it helped
It was
having
kinda
Jeremy
sad.
there and
Jeremy was there and.
explain it.
So this would be issuance
Steven.
number 2, Nelson change order number 2,
Mhm.
motion to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Jane. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Next, we have action item E4 here, issuance number 3, Nelson change order number 3, and this has to do with adding some extra outlets instead of maybe two outlets. They had to have 4 in certain areas. Certain areas they had to have a outlet for cameras and that type thing. And this is in the intermediate that had to be beefed up a little bit. And so it's in the amount of $11,233.21, if I got that right, Catherine.
That's one, and then the other one, Jim, is to move the primary phone system because
Okay,
it's
there's
a
2 on
closet
this.
system over there
Mhm.
is in the intermediate that we're tearing down, so we have to move that to the primary building.
We talked about this one, the closet,
And this one is a little frustrating
Mm-hmm.
because we feel maybe the engineers should have caught that, but yet our technology person didn't tell them, and so we're kind of all at fault at this one, but it's a pretty big
That's a
move.
fair assessment.
Mhm.
A lot of fingers to be.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Bottom line is we have to do it, so.
Let's see, the first one, as far as the added data power locations, if I'm not mistaken, is the $11,233.21.
Yep, you're right, Jim. Yeah, you're right.
And the second one is,
24/5.
24, 5/14.
I'm trying to find that one. Is that one here? 25, I've got it at the top of it here.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't, you don't have much choice because we're demoing the building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it would be
Okay,
a big problem to not move.
so the
Just
the
leave that
total
one
then
closet.
on here,
So it's
how
just
much?
make it look, make it look like a porta
Just,
potty.
yeah, leave it.
That's these two together,
Yeah,
right?
those two.
And so
That
what's
should
the
have been
total
part of
of
the
those?
original.
Oh,
That's,
let me
But
figure
then
this
it
out.
doesn't function.
Right, it would have been part of the original cost to
Because
move
then
it,
this
is what
big
they told
change
us,
order.
it just got
Oh,
missed,
this-
yeah, right here,
so we have to.
Okay,
35,747.
okay, so it adds up to $35,747.21.
So is this getting added to our total cost of the project?
Yes.
It would be in the contingencies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
And
have
that
the
was a good question,
contingency,
because
but
Greg was asking, I'd like to
Where
know.
we at with-
Yeah, where we at with that part of
Did
the
we get
dollars.
that all figured out?
not yet, he hasn't, he'll,
Okay.
I haven't seen that yet. You haven't either, have you seen it?
No.
No.
Yes, it is coming out of our contingency budget.
But we're still
On-
doing very well on the contingency.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
getting-
what I like is where,
But we want
you know,
They're, we asked for that,
Percentages,
He's
numbers.
this is the total, this is what we've advanced for
Yep.
each type of thing, and this is what we have left, and
I
this
asked
is where
him,
contingency.
in addition to that, what percent we're at. in the
Yes.
project
so it's
and what
coming,
percent we
we
did.
asked for that
He's
last
getting it.
week.
So
Yeah.
to get kind of in depth with it. I will move issuance number 3, Nelson change order number 3.
And you
That
to
was-
approve. Do you need a amount on that or not, on the motion? Nope, okay.
I'll second.
We got a second from Roger. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Okay, we're moving right along here to item number 5, which there's no backup on in here, but it's the approval of the special education deficit in the amount of $203,697.14, Brian.
That's correct. Right. This is something we annually do on the sped deficit. We obviously, when you have a sped deficit, you spent the money, and basically what you're doing is going to get the authority back because you already spent it. This is considerably less than last year.
Wasn't it like 6 last year?
It was, if you want the exact numbers, it was around 768,000 last year, and it's 204 this
Trying to
year.
figure you out.
I
Yeah.
I actually, can I give them a quick recap why?
Yeah, I put it in the
Yes.
footnotes too,
Okay.
but yeah, give a quick
Okay.
recap,
Yeah.
yeah.
So our revenues were up
Was that, yeah.
about 465,000. Now understand, this could ebb and flow because it's based upon the prior year's weightings, okay? But it
Each,
takes a
can I
lot of
explain that, Brian, real
Yeah.
quick? Because
Yeah.
each student that has an IEP gets weighted to level 1, level 2, level 3. And then level 3s are the higher needs, and so you get more dollars per. So we have been working as our special ed team, as writing IEPs really correctly and to make sure that we're getting the dollars that we need. Because if a student is a level 1 and has a para-professional, they shouldn't be a level 1. They have higher needs than some kids who just might have a learning disability and can do fine, just need a little extra help. So
Yeah.
that, kudos to the teachers,
Yeah,
I think.
piggybacking on that, that our weighting was up about 300,000. Tuition was up 70,000. Our Medicaid, this is one where somebody deserved a pat on the back. We ended up with $50,000 more Medicaid dollars than we had in the
We've really
past.
been focusing on that too.
We did get kind of something that we weren't expecting. We got $30,000. If you have students, your own students they're above a certain amount, they're what they call a high cost claim, and we actually file for it, and then it literally is like a pot of money at the state that gets appropriated. Well, they didn't use it all up last year, and so we ended up getting 30,000 in the fall for that, which didn't make us whole, but it
Helps.
It helped a lot.
So this is a light year.
Yeah. On the expense side, our expenses were down 92,000, and this is a combination of things. One of the two big things is, again, and Jenny would agree with this, we were a lot more intentional about where we placed our paras, and that ended up between salaries and benefits on paras, that was down about $120,000. The other big one was we combined some routes, going to that are kids that are in placement, and transportation was down 64,000.
Did we stop
That's good work right there.
transporting too? Some were able to transition back?
We have some
One for sure.
transitioning back. We have more than, we had about one graduated and then 2 transitioned back, so that's 3 routes.
And one of the things Jenny and I were talking about is, we have the Rising Hope, and we do get one student because we host, we do get one student, quote unquote, free.
Yeah.
But even if you have a student in that you have to pay the AEA for, that's still cheaper than having them in placement. When you count transportation and the whole 9 yards, it's just less expensive. The only other thing, there was a couple other things that, these won't mean a lot to you, but you get a growth, an allocation of all the other expenses throughout the school. It's called something program percentage, and that actually went up a little bit, which again, that follows the weighting. But then our tuition out went down, so we actually gained a bit there too, so between the two of those. So anyway, long story short, we're $564,000 down compared to last year.
Yeah.
And that took a lot of people to get there.
That's awesome. So, my question is, how does that affect the rest of our,
Just the spending authority piece.
Yeah.
Really. We don't get as much spending authority.
We don't get as much spending
But-
authority back, Roger, but it also means we spent less dollars too.
no, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you really look at sped is indifferent. Because if you spend more, you're gonna get the authority back. If you spend less, you're not gonna get the authority back, but you didn't spend those dollars. So it in some ways, it's indifferent.
But if we didn't spend the money, will we have funds, not so much funds available, but then can we lower our asking down the road?
What I would tell you is one of the things that's really, and I think you're thinking of cash reserve levy, because that's how we fund it.
Well, and our tax levies and stuff, as you're listening to the public and how
Did
much
that
the
save the
taxes went up on
taxpayer?
everybody.
There's
something we can do.
essentially 3 things that we can fluctuate in our, actually it's 4 things in our levy. We can lower or raise our management levy, okay, that's one. That's by needs for the most part. Our PEPL's canned, it's the same every year, okay? The 2 other ones would be if our valuations went up, we could quite possibly lower our debt levy, but we would have to be conscious of having enough dollars to fund that. The only other one there is cash reserve levy. Now, what I would tell you right now is based upon, the ESSER falsely raises your, I should say falsely, it raises your solvency ratio. Well, if your solvency ratio is above a certain level, you can't cash reserve levy. Unfortunately, we've had some large special ed deficits at least the last 2 years. And that quite honestly is causing our cash reserves to dip to, I won't say an uncomfortable level, but getting to that. So we will have to keep our cash reserve levy just to build our, we'll just have to keep, I mean, we're gonna have to do what we can on the cash reserve levy just because we're playing catch up on that. So, but that's a really good question.
And one or two students could change that drastically.
We have, I mean, you could have a student that could cost you $10,000 a month. Easily.
And you don't know if they're gonna move in or
Yeah.
if, yeah, and by law you have to serve them.
Yeah. And, worst case scenario, they move in January and the waiting's all done and everything, so you're not getting funded for them and you're still gonna educate them.
So you don't get funded for another year and a half, because you get funded
That's
a year in
what's
the
really
rear,
tricky.
so that's what's hard.
And that's why I say be careful, this is great, you can ebb and flow.
Have a healthy cash reserve.
But it's good we-
Something better.
Yeah.
That's great,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that helps with our reserves.
Cleaning up the processes too, I think.
How about a motion on this? Approval of the special education deficit. So moved by Roger, second by Greg. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Next, we have item number 6, policy review schedule, second reading. First reading, I'm sorry.
Getting ahead of yourself.
Can you talk
I'm getting ahead of
about,
myself.
either one of you, the compulsory attendance that
We changed?
got a little traction on social media that parents don't understand potentially, or just don't like that
It's a
the
law.
school,
Might
so,
be a little
and that's
bit
why we get to
Yeah,
explain
no, we'll
it right
explain
now.
it, yep, so there's a law.
Why
and,
we have
Yeah.
that there.
Once students are at a certain threshold, so you're called, compulsory attendance is, once you're signed up for school, you have to attend. So that's what we changed in that first reading, because we had kindergarten on, but really if you're a preschooler and you're attending school, that's compulsory attendance as well. So the same laws apply. You can miss up to like 10% of a grading period, which the state has just came out like within the last few days of what a grading period is, and it's a semester. So 10% in a semester, 90 days, so 9 days you can miss, and that, that's a couple days a month, doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up pretty quick. If you're sick and you miss 90 days or 9 days, that's different, but if you're just taking a couple days off each month, that's not different. So we are required to do specific things at certain days and certain percentages. So there's sending letters, we send them at 4, 8, and 12. We're also required, if a student misses 20% in a grading period, to turn that into the county attorney, and we are required to turn it into the county attorney. What the county attorney does with it is up to them, because after that, it's out of our hands.
18 days and 90 days?
Yeah,
But 90 days, 90 calendar days or 90
90 school days.
school days?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then but if they're gone because they're leaving early for a football game, that does not count against them. So there's certain,
Or if they're at a
for-
doctor's appointment, that is actually.
the doctor's appointment counts as a day, because any day counts as an absence, but if we see that there are doctor's notes and different, then you just take that into consideration for sure. But yes, the law is very.
So these are state laws, these aren't
State
because
law.
Harlan is,
Oh no,
wanting
every
to-
single district all around us has the same, I mean, you can look at Waukee, or you can
Yeah.
look at IKM, or
I suppose a school district could choose not to abide by it, but that would probably not be okay.
Well, no, because then it's in code.
Yeah. but
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
getting
yeah,
at
yeah, they
is
could,
someone
but
could say, well, the
yeah.
school district's not doing it, well, then
Yeah.
they're not following.
They're not,
Right.
yeah.
Are these unexcused? What happens to unexcused?
An absence is an absence is an absence, is kind of how you describe it, so it's excused, unexcused, any,
Mhm.
yeah, even if,
I mean, they have specific reasons you can be gone. You can be gone for religious
Yes.
reasons, or you can be gone for a doctor's appointment. But how about if you're gone just to, because the parents wanted to take them out? Is that
that's
handled
just
any
an
differently?
absence, no.
That's gonna be an absence.
Handled the same.
Up
The thing
to
I didn't
chronic
like-
absenteeism, that
It's
20%.
20%.
Once you hit that 20%, then a day is a day.
Mhm.
The reason for their absence. you know,
And
Yeah.
part of that is
No longer
because,
matters.
yeah, because some parents may call a child in several times and say, I'm gonna keep them home or I'm gonna do this, and then other parents may not, but, I don't know, it's just even the playing field all the way around.
The thing I don't like about it is the part that's scratched out is taking the decision-making away from the principals who are in touch with the parents. So it's the power, the state wants the power to regulate and, like you said, we're kind of stuck with it.
And
That's
it's
not
the local
code.
control
And
that
I had parents say that we take a family vacation in the wintertime and that's gonna make it really hard for them.
well, or they take it and and then that's
Don't miss
their, as
any
long
other
as they
days.
don't miss more days,
Yeah.
or, yeah. Yep.
That's-
Communication goes a long way
Mhm.
also.
Yeah.
But basically, once you sign your child up, because it's your decision to
Oh,
send your
absolutely.
child to
Yeah.
public school.
Yeah.
So once you decide to send your child to public school and sign them up, we are legally mandated to follow attendance rules.
Yep.
It's not just because we choose to.
18 days is a lot.
Right, but I'm saying, so people that maybe, who knows if they'll watch it or not, but at least
Yes,
it's our
yes.
explanation of, it's
It's
not
now-
just cause,
And I mean, just to break it down, you have, that's not summertime. I mean, I'm just thinking,
Yeah, no, that's
if you
just-
looked at the working
You're at
world,
180 days school year, 90
you know,
days.
I mean,
So 20%
18, that's
of 90.
36
Yeah,
days off
yeah.
if you actually did that.
Mhm.
At one semester, 2 semesters, that would be 36 days off.
Yeah.
That doesn't count your,
Right.
That doesn't count.
summer break. I mean, I'm talking about
Right,
the
no,
students,
right,
so.
yes.
Right.
So,
But I mean,
You know-
if you were employed and you missed that many days, you wouldn't
well,
be
no one ever
Most
has
likely
to be
employed.
36 days of
vacation,
vacation.
but that, you also get the
Besides
summer,
that.
plus your 90 days in the
Plus 2
summer.
weeks at Christmas.
And your
Yeah,
2 weeks at Christmas
Christmas.
and your,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's,
a lot
I
of
don't
days.
see how anybody can really complain
well,
too much
even a
about
quick Google search can pull up some pretty real statistics about how the percentage that kids lose or don't absorb or what it does to their actual
Yeah.
educational.
that.
So I get the parent thing, I do,
Yeah.
but what do you,
Mhm.
I don't, it's not like we just want to do it.
Oh,
Well, the
no,
bottom
this
line
is
is you
extra
gotta
work
follow
for us too,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bottom
Yeah, we
line
have
is
to
you gotta
follow- we have to
follow
follow
them.
the law.
That's
Yep.
just what you have to do.
The only thing we changed on that one though was just put preschool in there too,
Yeah.
just because, and we did find out that, we partner with Shelby County Catholic Preschool as well, and they, if they're in Shelby County Catholic, they have to send
They
the
have to
letters and
adhere
do
to
the
the same
same
rule.
thing Shelby County Catholic does as well, because we partner with them and they get public dollars.
Well, it makes sense in
So-
preschool, they're taking a slot that maybe another kid could have, I mean, the slots are only, there's only so many for preschool. So if you're gonna sign up and then out of 10, that's a slot another kid could have
Could
used.
attend,
It'd
yep.
be
Yeah.
tough for the kid to stay on top of the school if they miss that many days.
Yeah, especially, the good thing is you start young and because in my experience, when I was in another district where attendance was a big issue, when you started looking back, and I was in the secondary, but when you looked back, it all started in like first grade or kindergarten, and that's not the kid making that decision. But by the time they got to middle school or high school, they could make the decision and they'd already have that pattern set. So to teach them that school's important.
I went to a lot of hearings, because I was in the elementaries for kiddos who had cooperation agreements.
So there is and we just got it today, a template for an agreement that you do have to sit down with parents with at a certain number of days as well. And it's very good because it just walks through what's the reason they're really not attending, so you can both work on it, you know.
And ultimately, it's because we care about the
The
student
kids,
and their
absolutely, and we
success
want them to graduate,
after
yeah,
Harlan community.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah,
Yeah, Casey has a good point, communication is the key,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, and if
Yep.
someone, if there's a kid that's sick for a week and they had something, I mean,
Yeah,
that's, happens
yeah.
and.
And we get it, yeah.
They're gonna communicate that, and that's, yeah.
so, nothing else was super fun. So I'll make a motion to,
To
what?
accept
Accept, thank you,
the
policy.
policy review schedule,
First
first reading.
reading.
First reading.
Thank you, Jade.
I'll second.
Second by Roger. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Next, we have the item 7, policy review schedule, second reading this time.
So educational records access,
Which that's pretty
pretty cut
standard.
and dry,
I
yeah, it's
don't
all
remember
federal
No.
issues.
stuff.
So I will make a motion to approve policy review schedule second reading.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ray. Jade. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, no. Next, we have the consent agenda, item number 8. And so we have the minutes and item B, and then B, the accounts payable. And I was gonna ask, Brian, there was nothing too much on the later parts of this thing, is there?
That was,
The general fund, student activity?
Which one you want me to pull up, Jim?
Oh.
Yeah, what?
No, it's
Oh.
just there, yeah,
there's some blank pages got in there. There was,
Okay.
after it got sent, we realized there was a period like on a separate page. So, after you get to the nutrition fund, it's done.
Okay.
I figured it just should have said left intentionally blank.
Could have done that. Yeah, but once you get to the nutrition fund, it is done.
Yeah, it's just.
While we're talking about that, I did get an email, cause I'm always in
dear.
I'm always in the red on nutrition fund. Explain to me what our policy said, cause I looked it up on Simply. What does our policy say about enforcing nutrition fund deficits? I'm constantly there.
It's,
How do we enforce that? What is that?
Do you want me to?
Because I got an email,
Briskly beat you about the head of the board.
perhaps.
No? But just,
No, it says-
that's just you.
it says you'll get emails, you'll get letters, it even says we'll take you to small claims court.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay.
And who's Amplify?
Amplify
That
is,
is-
21,000?
go ahead.
That is the reading,
Curriculum.
that's the reading curriculum. So
How's that
was-
working out? Yeah, because it's the curriculum supplies, or the curriculum working pretty good?
Yes, they like it.
Everybody here has a terrible cold, the whole high school.
They do like it. So they have it
Both high schools,
preschool through sixth
Huh?
grade.
Mhm.
No, something eighth, yeah. They're
There's
liking
been
it
a
a lot.
ton of stuff in the air too.
Yes.
And then I was gonna ask one more, Brian, the flippin' group,
Flipping group was part of the capturing
That's the
kids.
No,
Hearts.
capturing
but
kids cards
other
one that
people.
we're
Oh.
in for two.
I
And we had,
okay, that's what I was thinking.
We had-
Dividing that into
Perfect.
three.
we had,
Okay.
we have professional development dollars that we have
Yep.
targeted every year, so, you know.
Okay, always have to ask you, just
What do
so
you
you're on
think?
your toes.
Sorry.
That one was an easy one.
Okay,
The
they're
flipping
usually pretty
group, that was,
easy.
yeah.
Ask me one
Flip-
that's got
flip it.
$162 and I'm not sure.
Is
We
the
don't look
purpose
close
of
to
our
$160
nutrition fund to
ones.
break, sorry, is the purpose of our nutrition fund, like parents paying, is that to break even for food? Or does that help pay staffing as well as food?
It is, a nutrition fund is a proprietary fund, which means
Okay,
it's supposed to be self-supporting.
Is it?
It has been, well, let's put it this way, if we got paid for every meal, it for sure will be.
Sure,
If you give a whole bunch of them away, it won't be.
yeah.
But
I think they
it's
narrowed it
done
down.
pretty well the last several years. All the
However-
nutrition funds, everybody in the state of Iowa, when we had, where the federal government was paying,
Yeah, yeah.
doing
That's
full
why.
reimbursement, everybody, there's not a school district in the state of Iowa didn't make their nutrition fund strong. And ours does fine without, even without that. what it does give us the ability is, well, honestly, we were able to update some equipment and stuff. That's a little tougher when you don't have that extra funds.
Gotcha.
The
But,
freezers need some updates.
right.
I mean, we're.
That
in-
being said, I mean, the negative balance issue, I think, was maybe not helped at all by a couple of years, nobody paying for meals, and I think we have families that literally feel like that's the way it should still be, and it's not.
Yeah.
Brian, what's the total right now of unpaid?
I
I
don't
think
have
it's
that.
like 20,000.
I would say
So
it's
yeah,
accurate.
20,000.
And
I'm adding to
honestly,
that
if you take
deficit.
out,
You want the truth.
with that, if you take,
Negative.
if you take out the top 10 or 15, it's not that bad. But we have
Just some
some that are
heaviers.
chronically bad that we are going to have to, I don't like the fact to go, personally, I don't think it looks good, the school, small claims in somebody. But
I would
listen,
agree over food,
May-
but
May not look
But-
good, but it gets attention.
but in the same breath, if you're paying for your meals, why shouldn't that person pay for them?
well, I'm technically not paying for my meals
Yeah,
right
she
now,
just
that's
said
why I'm in a
she's the
negative.
problem.
But
You got a lot of mouths to feed though.
I
too.
know. Okay, I was just curious about that. Cause I tried to look up what our policy even was, I was like, oh, I'm getting in trouble.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Alright, that's all, I'm done. Good to go.
Any other discussion? Otherwise, I'll look for a motion on the consent agenda to approve that.
So moved.
So moved by Greg,
Second.
second by Roger. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. And next we have item F, the adjournment.
So moved.
So moved by
Second.
Jade, second by Greg. All those in favor, aye.
Jobs.
Aye.
Aye.
No, that's like, wait, I'm sorry.